Walt Clyde Frazier came out with his take on Kevin Durant joining the Golden State Warriors. Essentially, he feels that Kevin Durant will have an asterisk next to his name in terms of his championships. He felt that Kevin Durant was right there with LeBron James, and going to Golden State Warriors was basically a weak move, like Stephen A. Smith said. But he said his championships won't hold the same weight as others, and they'll be asterisk because he went to a team that didn't need him. I respect Clyde Frazier. He's one of the greatest point guards to ever play the game. He's a great player, but I flat out disagree with him. Number one, the team did need him. They got eliminated by the Cleveland Cavaliers in 7 games. It's not like they won a title when Kevin Durant got there. It's true that Kevin Durant joined a team that beat him, but his team should have beat them on top of that. So the Warriors weren't perfect in the whole run in 73-9 and stuff like that. They were almost eliminated by OKC in the Western Conference Finals, and they got eliminated by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA championship. So I mean, they lost to Cleveland. They lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals. So by no stretch of the imagination was that team perfect. Everybody's saying this is he joined a 73-9 team. When he went there, Andrew Bogut was gone. Harrison Barnes was gone. Barbosa was gone. A lot of questions still remain about that team, and a lot of people, Chris Webber, some other guys, they said that Cleveland will repeat as champions. So Kevin Durant came there and wrecked shop. I think it's unfair to say he's going to have an asterisk on his championships when he has 2 finals MVPs. He dropped 30 plus 35 points on LeBron James. He averaged like 35 in the NBA Finals the first time. He averaged 30 again. Take away 2 MVPs. Game 4, he wasn't even trying to do anything crazy. Man ends up, like Ice Cube said, messed around and had a triple-double. Like, he messed around and got a triple-double. He didn't ride anybody's coattails to get these championships. He was the bus driver. A lot of people would say, well, he had Steph and he had Clay. Game 3, 2017, Exhibit A. Game 3, 2018, Exhibit B. Both of those games, both Clay and Curry were struggling. And Kevin Durant came through and shut it down. He didn't ride nobody's coattails. He was the best player. You got to understand how humbling it is for him to join that team. But then you got to understand the magnitude of what he did. He outshined a 2-time MVP in Stephen Curry. He outshined a 4-time MVP in LeBron James. He was the best player on the court. That's something to be said. LeBron James averaged a triple-double, this, that, and the third. All that is great. Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. Klay Thompson, they're the best shooting backcourt. All that is great. For him to outshine every single person on the court, including one of the premier players that is considered by some to be the greatest of all time, he's in that conversation. There's no asterisk for that. Now, I'm going to tell you where he would have had an asterisk on his career. If he stayed in OKC and never won a championship, then the asterisk would have been like, he was a great regular season player, but he just never get over the hump. The asterisk would have been if he went to the Golden State Warriors and Stephen Curry was always outshining him. And, well, he went to Golden State Warriors, but, he was riding Stephen Curry's coattails. The asterisk would have been if he went to the Golden State Warriors and never won a championship and LeBron James beat him for a championship. Now, the asterisk would have been, hey, KD joined the 73-9 team and it still wasn't enough. Come on, guys. Like, I think at this point, he has nothing else to prove to anybody. Old timers, I understand where they're coming from and the way that they feel, because I'm like the kind of guy, like, I like competition. I don't think you can't beat them. I don't like that mentality, but that's what it is now. And if you really think about it, a lot of these guys that are legends in the game, the way that the rules have changed and everything like that, a lot of them can't play in today's game. And what I mean by a lot of them can't play is due to the simple fact that rules change with defense. These guys, like, for example, like, you look at Kevin Durant, the things that he can do and stuff like that. Some of these guys weren't pulling up from 50 or 30, you know what I'm saying, from 30 or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So, and the way that the teams are built today, like, a lot of these old timers will come and play today. They wouldn't want to move. They would just, like, stay with the same franchise And even if the franchise was terrible, they would just stay there. So the free agency has really shifted the way of the game. But when you're looking at somebody like KD, like he's already passed up Walt Clyde Frazier. So it was not really like in terms of skill wise. And I know we're not comparing skills or nothing like that because different players playing different eras. But what I'm saying is to me, I think what Walt Clyde Frazier is saying is like the way I got my championship was more organic, or the owners led for me to get the team that I got, the Rolls Royce backcourt or whatever the case is, and the way that KD went about it is foreign to me. And what's sad about that is, for example, guys might have records for assists, records for this, that, and the third, and the way that the game is changing, a lot of those records are just going to get broken because the game is different. Less physicality, the NBA pushes for offense. So a lot of these records, like Steph Curry said the other day in the Bill Simmons podcast, he said he had the quickest record to get like 100 and something threes. He said that record's been, as a rookie, 100 something threes to get as a rookie, like I think 150. He said that his record from when he was a rookie was broken already 4 times. So that's just how the nature of the game is evolving or whatever. Players are evolving, they have choice. But I'm not in agreement with the whole fact that, hey, he deserves an asterisk. I don't think nobody gets asterisk on their championships. LeBron James didn't get an asterisk on his championship. And he had like the worst thing of all time where essentially he got somebody suspended by snitching. And, there was a suspension in the mix. If anything, if you want to keep it a buck, LeBron should have been like, nah, y'all ain't going to suspend him because I don't want to hear nothing about if we win the series that it was because of the suspension. If he sits, I'll sit. Nah, see? So, like, things like that, nobody talks about that. But nobody's going to get an asterisk on their championships. When LeBron got 2 in Miami, nobody gave him an asterisk. The one in Cleveland, people say it holds more weight, but they're all the same rings. They're all the same rings, guys. They're all the same ring. They have different colors on them, different teams, but they're still championship rings for a champion. And you can't ever take that. You can't take away something like that from a player. Hoops Junction, where hoops meets hoopla. Like, comment, and subscribe.